Okay, this is easy. Sand, wood fill, repaint. Surprise, mother flower. Hey, what's up, guys? Here I'm just gonna dry this window with a paper towel, and then I'm gonna go ahead and use a utility knife and cut around the edges of the old silicone. And I have this cool tool that is to remove the old silicone. You don't need it. You could just cut around the edges like I'm doing right there, and then just pull it out. Just make sure to remove all the old silicone. Here I'm removing the silicone with the tool, but you don't need it. Remember, you don't need this. You could just use the utility knife and cut it in parts and just pull it out. And here's how it looks after you remove the silicone. Now I'm using the vacuum to remove all the leftovers. Here I was thinking I was just gonna sand, wood fill, and then repaint, thinking it was an easier job, but then you'll see the surprise I had. When I removed the old paint with the sander, I noticed that it was a lot of rat, and that's when I decided I had to replace the sill. And when I opened up the trim, I found out it was a lot of rat. Here I let it air dry for a day, and the next day I come back and it's still wet, so it's a lot of rat. Here I'm using this pry bar to remove the sill. Show you right here, it has this little thing so you could cut the nails. And here I removed the sill, and look what I found. This thing is rotted very badly. Here I'm removing the nails that are popping out. The ones I cannot pull out, I'm just cutting them. Here I use the same pry bar to remove the trim. And look at this, this is like a sponge. It's very wet, so I have to cut it and put a new piece. Okay, now using my sawzall, I'm gonna cut a straight line on this board, because I'm gonna cut a piece of PVC and replace it just to avoid any further damage, because PVC is not gonna get mold, so that's why I'm gonna put it there. Here with the use of a screwdriver, I'm prying the piece I cut out so I could take it out. It was a little difficult because I had something in the way, but I removed it and I was able to take it out. And here's how nasty it looks. Now I'm gonna take measurements. I'm taking measurements for the length, the depth, and the width. Always going a little bit more, because you could go more, but if you go too little, it's gonna be more difficult. So have that in mind. Here I transfer my measurements to the PVC board, and this is how it looks. Make sure you use a mask and some glasses, because this thing is very, you don't want to be breathing in this stuff or this falling into your eyes. So make sure safety first. Here I'm making adjustments so it fits as I need. Now after you vacuum and clean with some alcohol, we're gonna put some wood hardener just to avoid the spread of this fungus, because it could spread into the rest of the wood, so we want to avoid that. So use any wood hardener of your choice and spray a good amount of it, and we're gonna let it dry for overnight. I'm doing 2 coats. It says that I gotta wait 3 hours to put the second coat, so I'm gonna put this coat and I'll wait 3 hours, put another coat, and just let it dry overnight. Okay, so this is hard as a rock, as you guys see. I'm gonna use this epoxy wood to fill in a couple of pieces of wood that came out when I removed the seal piece with the pry bar. As you guys see here in the corner, I'm missing a piece, so I'm gonna use this to fill it in. I'm also using some 80-degree sandpaper and my razor, so the epoxy has something to grab on, and I'm gonna add 2 screws also to make the bond even stronger. Clean with some alcohol so it has a clean surface to adhere to. When you take out the epoxy, you're gonna measure how much you need, and then you're gonna start playing with it until it gets like a consistent color. When it has the same color all over, it is ready to apply, and you shape it with your hands just as it fits, and you let it dry for an hour, and then we sand it. Here I'm putting a little bit more on this corner, and I'm shaping it with a spatula that I had, just a plastic spatula from the dollar store, and it just it does the job. Now since I removed all the silicone from the window and I'm gonna repaint it, I'm cleaning it with alcohol, and I'm gonna apply primer before the silicone, because the silicone adheres very well to primer, better than no primer. And I'm lightly sanding places that I see that are a little bit gluey, just to remove the excess silicone that was left over, and again cleaning it with more alcohol and vacuum it to get the spot ready. And here I'm gonna use a flat white primer and just spray it all around the window where I'm going to put silicone. And I'm going to use the piece of wood that I removed to draw it on the new board, the PVC board, just to have the same measurement. Always going a little bit bigger just to be safe. And here's how the new one look. And since I have the trim out, I'm going to sand it all down and put primer on, just because, like I said earlier, the silicone is gonna stick to a prime surface better than if it doesn't have primer. Here I'm testing the piece and it fits correctly. Clean the area with alcohol to remove the grease and dirt. I'm using PVC trim adhesive and sealant because this is a PVC board. Apply a good amount across the board doing an S figure. And don't forget about the side piece. I will be using the same kind of adhesive. And put a good amount of adhesive on all the parts that are gonna be in contact with the window frame. Now put the other part in and make sure with some alcohol and a paper towel you remove the glue that might come out. Since I'm not using nails, I'm using some weight and a clamp just to make sure everything is tight. Now I'm going to start to glue the trim that I removed. Make sure to align the corners as best as you can. I'm gonna use my 18 gauge nailer for the side trim and making sure I'm going incline by going upwards, because if water comes down it will not be able to go in there if the nail is going upward, if you understand what I mean. And I only use 3 nails because I put glue in it, so the nails is just so to hold it in place. Now I'm gluing back the pieces that I took out earlier. Now I'm taking out the clamps and the weights to put the trim piece that goes in the bottom. And also I put 3 nails in, going in an angle upwards. If you have some leftovers, you could just put some plastic wrap on top of it and tie it back up. It will make it last a little bit longer in case you need more. Now I'm going to be using a spray foam. This one is for windows. I'm going to be filling up the gaps like that corner I just showed you, and this will have the window ready for silicone. And also when you put this foam, it's gonna expand and you're gonna let it dry, and with a utility knife you're gonna cut the excess and just make sure you leave it flush so the silicone adheres well to the window. And sorry guys, I forgot to hit record when I was cutting the excess foam, but what I'm doing here is just right after I cut it, just cleaning it up with alcohol. And here's the gaps filled up. Here I'm using some leftover of the epoxy wood and I'm filling up the holes where I put nails into the trim. You can also use Bondo, the filler that you use for car. It will work fine here too. Now I'm reattaching the tape here. I have put this earlier when I thought that the job was gonna be something quick, before I find out I had all this rotted wood. So that's why I have put the tape like at the beginning. What I do is just put tape and leave like half an inch, probably, or an eighth of an inch, I'm sorry. And when I put the silicone, I remove it before it dries so I have a straight edge. I will be using this type of silicone for windows and trim. This is a clear silicone. I couldn't find white. This is the only one they had at the moment, so I'm using this. And when it fully cures, I will paint over. Now I'm here just getting the area ready, cleaning with alcohol again to remove the grease and dirt that might fall over the window. Always cleaning with alcohol before doing anything, because you want always clean surfaces. So now after that, I will be applying the silicone, and make sure you cut just a little bit of the tip of the silicone, because remember, it's always, if it's too small you could get it bigger. If it's too big, then you screwed, you know. So always start like that, and always have ready a little bit of dish soap to put on your finger, so you could rub your finger and press on the silicone. Remember, you don't have to put a lot of pressure. Now here I'm removing the tape, and now I'm gonna let it dry before I paint it. Make sure no water falls into the silicone for about 24 hours, so make sure that's why I did it at night, so you know everybody's already showered and everything. And even though I'm gonna put some plastic on top of the window in case somebody gonna take a shower, they could drop the plastic so it doesn't get wet. And I like to put some painter's tape in the tip of the silicone so I could store it in case I need more. And I allow it 24 hours to cure. Now I put plastic and tape all around, and I'm gonna use 400 grit sandpaper alcohol to clean it up afterwards, and semi-gloss paint. And here's the look of it, guys. After it dry, I put 2 coats and it looks amazing, guys. I'm very happy with the results. If you guys find this video helpful, please make sure you subscribe, like, comment any questions, and thank you guys for watching. Hey guys, if this video was helpful, I'll leave you 2 more of my videos here for you to check out and help me grow this channel, guys. Hit this button right here so you can subscribe and get more of my videos. Thank you, guys.